stand, please make sure to project and enunciate your questions for the benefit of our audience, both on Clemson Plus and on Zoom. So, Coach, whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. Well, again, proud of our guys for this past week and getting on the right track. Did a lot of great things in the game, and excited about being back at home this week. Another opportunity for us to go play. It was an awesome environment last week, and I know this weekend will be as well. Night game in the Valley is always a lot of fun, so look forward to being a part of that. This is a really dangerous football team coming in here. A team that they got some weapons, they got some tools. The quarterback's been around. He's not going to be a guy that's going to be overwhelmed with the environment. This is a kid that has started at Texas and started at Nebraska, so he's been in, a lot of big-time games and understands the environment that he's coming into. And offensively, they do a lot of really good things that challenge you. They've got a really good scheme. Coach Herman has known him for a long time. He's always done a good job offensively, and they've got some speed. They got some dudes that can really, really run, that can take the top off really quick. Got a couple of talented backs in at number 3 and number 2 that are very impressive and run hard. This will be one of the biggest offensive lines we'll play against all year. These guys are massive. I mean, they're huge across the front, and veteran group. So, this is and then again, the quarterback is a guy that can make throws. He can get out of the pocket. I'm sure they'll probably move him out of the pocket. He creates well, extends plays well. When he scrambles, he looks to throw. But he will pull it down and run it as well. So, again, this is a good football team. They're 2 games in. And, I know they're disappointed with their game they're coming off of, and with a couple turnovers in that game. But this is a team that will challenge us schematically and athletically. So look forward to that matchup and competing against these guys. And then over on the other side, defensively, same thing. They've got some very active guys up front that are disruptive. Number 50 and number 8, 2 really impressive inside players. 95 and 19 really just jump out at you, and 49. They play really hard. Guys on the back end can run. So just a good group across the board. They've kind of shown a little bit of everything in the first 2 games as far as their style of play. In and out of different fronts, multiple fronts, movement up front. They've shown a little bit of everything coverage-wise in a couple games. So there's a lot of things on tape already just in 2 games. Not afraid to get up and challenge receivers, and also have played a lot of zone as well. So. A little bit of everything to get ready for, but at the end of the day, it's about us just keep building, see if we can cut out a couple of these disasters that we've had in the first 2 games, and offensively, and just put 4 good quarters together of complementary football, and if we do that, we can match up with anybody. But excited about again the opportunity this week, and look forward to it. Yeah. I remember that game. Yeah, that was. I think they hadn't been D1 long, if I remember correctly. I think they just going. Yeah, hadn't been D1 a long time. But it's always been a program that I've been down there, ridden by the campus a lot, and it's one of those places you go, wow, now that'd be a cool place to coach. I mean. Not a bad gig there, man. Great place to live, and then when they built the campus, the stadium on campus there, it's created a really nice venue and environment. So maybe we should do a home and home with these guys, a little trip down there. But Coach Schnellenberger, he's a guy that kind of put that program on the map, and I got a lot of respect for him, and go kind of way back with him. He was an Alabama guy at one time as well, and on Coach Bryant's staff, and and then actually played against one of his teams when he was at Louisville my sophomore year at Alabama out in the Fiesta Bowl. So amazing what they've done with that program over the years, and they've had some really good coaches come through there and a bunch of good players.
Dabo, how would you evaluate Cade's performance in terms of seeing the whole field and then making on-time throws to receivers that are
Been really good outside of about 5 plays. Really good. Those 5 plays have been bad. You know, he's been really, really good. I mean, we were 80% completion the other day, 40-something passes with all the quarterbacks, and he was, what was he, 67, 8% or whatever. So he's been really good, really, really good. He's got a great understanding. He's just had a couple of plays that he wish he could get back, but you know, you don't get them back, so you just keep. It's just good learning, teaching opportunities for a young starter, and he's just going to get better and better and better.
Is it really just watching film to kind of help him improve on that, or is there stuff you're trying to do in practice to help him out?
You just got to play. I mean, you know, you can only he can sit in there in the film room all day, and he's got every answer. He's a natural. I mean, he gets it on every level. But you just got to go play, and you can go practice and get it too. But it's another thing when you get out there and it's you know, game situations and game time decisions, and he's been really, really good. I mean, you know, he's made a couple of plays in the first 2 games that, again, hopefully he'll never make the rest of his career. And that was the 4th and 8, and that was the just awful play last week. I mean, he's gonna fumble a snap again in his career. I mean, that's football. I mean, he's not perfect. I mean, but that was a bad play. But you know, hopefully that's a rarity. But that'll happen again in his career. But the play on the picks, that can't ever happen again, and the 4th and 8 can't ever happen again. And I don't think they will. I think those are just very, very you know, teachable opportunities that you learn from playing the game, you know, as a young player, and that's what he'll use it as that.
Is there another area of either the offense or defense that you also have the feeling of just got to let them play and get the reps, and there's really, you know, nothing more than that for improvement? I
mean, it's just turnovers. I mean, that's it. I mean, we're really we've played 2 pretty good games defensively, and you know, we've actually played pretty good both games offensively, and the major issue is turnovers. And you know, what we needed to improve on this from the first week to last week was red zone. And you know, obviously that was a major issue at Duke with, I mean, 3 or 4 trips down there and you get nothing, 2 of them on the 1. So we scored every time in the red zone, and you know, not counting the last time where we just ended the game, but 7 true red zone opportunities. We were 6 out of 7 touchdowns and 7 out of 7 points, and so, you know, that's the expectation of what we need to do down there. So it was good to see that, and good to see us finish. We just played cleaner in that area. So the biggest thing is just let's win the turnover margin. We're not going to be a great football team if we keep losing the turnover margin. I don't care how good we run it, how good we pass it, how good a defense we play. You know, that is a great equalizer against any opponent, and so that's something that we hopefully can get that out of our system. We need to go on a run of winning the margin, or at least being even. You know, we don't have to be perfect, but we got to at least be even. And you know, I'll take those odds.
Dabo, how do you teach guys not to turn the ball over?
Just fundamentals. I mean, again, you know, you look at the turnovers that we've had. It's you know, one was just a collision, but we let a guy spin out of a down block, and that kind of created the collision. That doesn't. I mean, football's a collision sport. You sign up, play running back. You gotta hang on the ball. So it's just, you know, making sure that you got the ball high and tight. It's again, we've had a couple ball handling issues. A snap, you know, that was just a little off. That, you know, we didn't handle the ball well. So those are just fundamental things that you have to just work every single day, which we do. I mean, you're never going to be perfect, but we've just got to, and then we got to create more. You know, that's another thing. You know, we've got to, we got one this past week. We needed 2, you know, to get even. We had 2 the first game. We needed 3. So we just got to find a way to not have as many and see if we can get a couple more. And you'll be amazed at what happens with that. Because we got good players, and they're playing hard. They're doing all the things that I really want to see, you know, from a football standpoint, that gives you a chance to line up and play with anybody.
What's it like? You talk about you've got these great talented kids, and they're playing good football. They're just making these kind of things. What's this feel like for you to be like, I imagine you're like, we're going right there. Like, it's just this little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating when you got, again, but that's football, you know? I mean, sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way, and sometimes you get fortunate on the other way too. So it's just football. I mean, they're young people. You just keep going. I mean, as long as they're playing hard and you know, giving you the type of effort and I see the type of commitment in our preparation, and these kids care. You know, hey, you know, you just keep playing, just keep going, keep showing up. We got a good team. We got a good team, and got a long way to go. We got a lot of battles ahead. I think it's a team that's going to show up and compete and fight every single week. But you know, you have to. You know, we always say don't lose to Clemson. Like, let's take care of the things that we can control. You know, other teams are always going to make plays, and you know, they got good coaches and good players too. But you want to minimize the things that can really make winning harder. So, I mean, you hurt for the player when you see certain things, because nobody wants to. These guys don't want to fumble the ball. They don't want to make a bad decision. Nobody wants to do that. So you just, you know, but we're all in it together, and you keep moving forward.
I guess at left tackle, are you guys closer to picking just one, or do you think you could rotate these guys?
No, I think we're not disappointed with anybody, and I think we'll keep battling through there. You know, probably going to be, you know, maybe at some point there's a like bam, aha moment where we go, that guy, but right now we're pretty pleased with you know, the guys that we got. You know, now they kind of got, you know, they're kind of on a day-to-day, week-to-week type of deal as far as how they're competing, but we're not disappointed with either one of those guys, and you know, also want to at some point get, you know, we work Tate a little bit. We want to get Tate a little bit of work too, but because, you know, we've got 6 guys that we think can play tackle for us, but we're still, you know, kind of going through the process. We've thrown the ball very well. We've ran the ball very well. So it's not like our guys have not played good. They've played good. So we just keep working through it, and maybe at some point, as we get further along in the season, somebody will just really separate. But I'd be just fine if they don't too, because I love the fact that we got multiple good players there. It's really encouraging. Yeah, he's going to be back this week. He and Cole will get both those guys back, which is good. You know, I hate Cole missed this past week, but he'll be back for sure. And then Tink is available if we need him, and a guy that we're really excited about. I mean, really, really excited about, and a guy that probably would have, you know, last year and the year before would have been right there in the mix. But with Antonio and Tyler, you know, we feel like we might can hold that kid if we can. So we'll just see what happens. But he's ready if we need him.
Is Mukuba okay, or is he?
He's day to day.
Okay.
He's day to day, but doing good.
I didn't notice until Saturday that Mickey was on the sidelines.
What's that?
I didn't notice until Saturday that Coach Conn was on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Can you sort of go into what was behind that? And so
Just wanted to, you know, we put Ski up top, and you know, a couple of our support staff guys up there, and just, you know, wanted to get him down on the field. We just felt like from a communication standpoint, it would help us, and it's been good. Guys are playing well. You know, again, our pass offense, pass defense was my biggest area that we needed to improve. And after 2 games, we're doing a pretty good job right there. So hopefully that'll continue.
I think T.J. Parker is pushing for a full-on starting role already. You're getting there.
No, that would insinuate that Maskell and XT are not playing well. Maskell and XT are playing. Maskell, especially, this kid had a great game the other day. I mean, a really, really good game, and is playing really well, playing long and fast. But T.J. Parker is playing at starter reps. You know, I mean, he's definitely our third guy, but. Neither one of those other guys are in jeopardy of losing. They've done nothing to lose their job or anything like that. But we certainly recognize TJ and his what he's done in 2 games. I mean, and he's got he got a lot of opportunity the other day because he's a young player, hadn't played a lot. So we definitely wanted to get him in there, and really proud of what we've seen out of him. He's a kid we were super excited about coming in, and he's a guy that could be a starter for us for sure. But Maskell and XT are definitely our guys right now.
Any questions? Go ahead, Johnny.
You talked about Stelatto, the low catch you were very impressed by, but I think there was another sequence where he got blown up on a block.
Yeah.
2 plays later, takes a catch.
Yeah.
First down. I mean, what does a sequence like that say about him?
Well, he's a tough kid. I mean, he's tough. He's kind of always had that mentality. I mean, he's a tough. You watch him back in high school. Kid's got a little swagger to him, got a little grit to him. That's one of the things we liked about him coming out of high school. So he likes to play. He likes to compete. He's a competitive kid, and he really believes in himself. He's got a ton of confidence. And it was a lot of fun to see him. I mean, again, I told y'all coming in, he's not a guy we were counting on. I mean, if he's available, that's going to be a great plus for us. So really happy for him that he's been able to get back, because again, he missed all of camp. Got about, I guess he got about the last 9 or 10 days of practice before we got into the first game. So, it's good. It's good for him to have the success that he had and get banged around a little bit, and his confidence is as good as it's been since he's been at Clemson. And it's really the first time since he's been here that he's been healthy. And now that he's had a little bit of success, he's trying to seize the moment, as he's, just sat there for 2 years watching and can't really perform and do what he loves to do. So he's just really happy that he's getting a chance to go play, and he's taking advantage of his opportunity. Some good yards after the catch. He's a snatcher. He is a snatcher. I mean, he snatches the football. It's one of the things we like about him, and definitely can help us. So, hopefully we can keep him rolling.
Dabo, is there anybody you want to see get more involved that you haven't yet on Saturday night?
More involved. I mean, not really. I think the ball's been spread around, pretty good, all position groups and those type of things. And then obviously, with a game like that the other day, you play a lot of people. I mean, you get, some of your guys out so you can get some other guys some opportunity to see them. But I think that we've gotten everybody involved. The backs have been very involved. We've our running game has been outstanding. The passing game's been outstanding. We've involved, all the positions. Everybody's had opportunities. Probably the biggest guy would be, wasn't available last week, and that's Cole. He just hadn't had as much opportunity yet. But, at some point you're going to see him. And then Adam, I think he only had maybe 2 or 3 opportunities. And then, you sub a lot, playing a lot of guys. So got a couple individuals that hopefully will get more opportunity as we get into the heart of the season. But as far as just groups, I mean, we're spreading the ball around really well, and pleased with that.
You have an outlook for Vic Burley and how he's progressed?
Yeah, he's back. He's back in practice this week. So we'll see how he does today and tomorrow. Today will be full pads day, and tomorrow will be a shells day. but he just got put back in last night in the practice, so we'll see. But he's a guy that we hope is going to be able to help us. So we'll just have to evaluate him as we go through the week.
So
But he's coming.
He's not in that red shirt possibly?
No, he was set to play. He was a definite green light play guy until he got hurt. So and that's still kind of the case right now. But let's see how he responds and where he's at as he works his way back into playing.
What kind of difference have you seen in Jeadyn Lukus? He was here yesterday and told us his confidence is really.
Yeah, total transformation. That's the number one thing. He had no confidence last year for whatever reason. Not a very confident kid. Didn't practice hard all the time, and just or maybe not hard, but just didn't practice with confidence. Just didn't. He was injured. He had to have surgery and all that stuff, and he's just a guy that for whatever reason just. It's like he did. I'm not sure he really believed in himself like he needed to last year, and as a result, just wouldn't quite cut it loose, and just really practice the way he needed to, prepare the way he needed to, and it's just been. But that's football. That's just the way it is. I mean, these kids, they all, the light comes on for them at different stages, and he's just had a different look in his eye since the summer and really spring, and because we knew we were going to have to do surgery on his shoulder, but he really wanted to go, and so because we could have done it earlier, but he wanted to get 7 practices in, and then timing, so he knew he could be back because he really wanted to go compete. So he was able to gain some confidence from that, and just had a different mindset to him, and then he carried that into the summer. But since we got into camp, that kid's just had a different demeanor, different look in his eye. He's just kind of come into his own, and I think really truly believes that he can be a great player. Everything that we've told him, and but I think he's buying into that, and not only that he can be a great player, but buying into doing what it takes to be a great player. From a preparation standpoint, film study, your practice habits, the holistic approach to what you got to do off the field, whether it be your nutrition, your sleep, your maintenance on your body in the weight room, whatever. And he's bought into that, and it's been fun. He's an incredibly gifted kid. He's long, he can run, he's physical, and he's got excellent ball skills. So he's a really, really talented player, and has positioned himself to be. He's right there. We got 3 guys that we kind of see as, starters, and then we got the next group where there's a lot of competition going on amongst some good players on who's going to emerge out of that group. So is it Toriano? Is it Shelton? Is it Avion? Who's that next guy to run in there?
Speaking of this secondary, their quarterback, Casey Thompson, he averaged almost 9 yards an attempt last year in Nebraska, which was 11th in the country. Is he going to really test your secondary downfield? So I think he throws it downfield.
Yeah, they're going to test us in 2 ways. Schematically, they're going to test us because they do a lot of really good things. There's a ton of misdirection, a ton of play action, a ton of pistol play action, swap boots, RPO stuff that creates conflict. Really, really schemed up well that way, and I think that's really suits him. A million cross mesh routes, a lot of mesh concepts, and again, screen game mixed in with it as well. But his ability to throw the football on the move, I think is a huge challenge because he's very, very capable of, and he's confident as far as stepping up and up and out, or just getting out, and he's a guy that looks to throw. Again, he'll pull it down and run, but he looks to throw, so that's going to challenge us. So we've got to be great with our scramble drill, and again, going against our defense, I'm sure they're going to try to move him early, whether it be some guard pull scheme to get him on an edge where he can maybe throw back You see some of that on tape to try to create, a longer clock as opposed to just sitting in the pocket. I think you'll see some of those things from him, and he's got some swagger to him. He's a good player. But yeah, he's gonna challenge us with his skill. But those receivers he's got, listen, this number one can fly. This guy is an absolute rocket. So you better know where he is every time we line up on defense. You better know where that guy is. And they got guys that can run for sure. So, but he can get it to him. He's confident, and that the scheme and then himself will challenge those guys. It'll be a good test for us, for sure.
Because he's got Charlie Fry and Chad Lunsford and Ed Warner, a lot of those old Big Ten guys. Can you see that Big Ten influence?
Yeah,
especially with that offense.
Well, they run the ball. Again, when you watch this number 3, he's a downhill physical runner. So it's a good mix, with a really physical downhill. Again, a lot of pistol play action stuff. Again, that creates a lot of conflict, and then they're throwing in behind your backers, especially against a defense like ours that's fast. So they'll try to manipulate our speed, I'm sure. And then we've seen, about 3 trick plays in 2 games already. We've seen reverse passes. We've seen it all. So they've been very creative in their first couple games, and the physical run game presence is definitely a part of what they want to do, and it creates a lot of because again they want to be a play action football team, RPO type of a deal, and so you got to have that, and you certainly see that. And then they're huge. They're big dudes up front. One guy's 6'8", 300. They're all 300 plus, so definitely can see they're trying to build something special down there.
I guess you mentioned RPO. I know you said that Cade was a little indecisive this first week in that facet. Do you feel like he was more decisive to step forward?
I don't think he's been indecisive with the RPO game. I just think just indecisive with more the pull run, not really RPO game. He's not been indecisive with that. There's just been a couple of things like let's make a decision, and that what I meant was on that turnover down there. That wasn't an RPO. That was just being decisive in the run game. The RPO game has been really good. We almost had one for a 90-yard touchdown. We're about that far from Bo being out of bounds. That's an RPO. We have several of those things. He's got a great feel for that stuff. He's really good. He's just got to eliminate the 2 or 3 bad plays, or just make them bad plays. We can live with a bad play. We just got to get rid of the catastrophe, and and we will. He's doing a lot of great things. I know we just focus on a couple of bad plays, but this kid's done some great stuff in 2 ball games that's incredibly encouraging, and just going to keep getting better from there.
I think Brooke was talking to us a couple weeks ago that said that Peter Woods was bench pressing 475 when he got here. Have you had a stronger freshman arrive?
A stronger freshman? I don't think so. We've had some kids that have shown up, really strong, but I don't think we've ever had one stronger than Peter Woods. He's unique. Great, again, came from a great program in Alabama, 7A, well coached. Football at Thompson High is it's important down there. They take it serious and they work hard at it year round, and that's what he's been exposed to since the 8th grade. He's been playing varsity football since the 8th grade. So this kid just way ahead what your typical kid walking into high school has been exposed to, both how he's been coached and just the competitiveness and the nature of how they've trained all throughout his career there, and then just God's gifted him. He's just unbelievable. He's got a lot to work with, but he's put a ton of work into, and then naturally he's just so gifted. Just a powerful kid.
Was it early in Chad's time here when y'all would visit with Ohio State staff and Herman was a part of that?
Yeah. We visited with them multiple times. In fact, they came down here. Tom and them came down here. Can't remember what year that was. And then one year we played them and then met with them and watched the game after we beat them. So that's what, that's kind of one of the things about coaching that's unique. The coaches have always, they get together and, obviously we wouldn't go meet with our in-state rival, but and break down tape together. But you get out of games like that, and you got relationships and things like that. Coaches meet and try to make each other better. Whether it be defensive coaches getting together or offensive coaches getting together, or linebacker coaches, OL coaches have their own, they have their own society, if you will. They meet in dark rooms all across the country to plot and scheme. So that's just the nature of the business. But yeah, it's kind of unique, But yeah, I've been around Tom several times. He's a good football coach.
Any questions for Coach from Zoom?
Yeah, Dabo, this is Pete at AP. I have one, but I wanted to ask another kind of follow-up to that. Was that Ohio State thing, was that after the bowl game a few years ago, or was it one of the CFP games that you played?
I believe it was one of the CFP games. I'm pretty sure.
That's kind of interesting. I also wanted to know, a little bit off topic, I guess there have been a couple of reviews this college season that have gone a little bit longer than some have wanted. Where do you stand on that? Are you let's get the call right no matter how long it takes, or, hey, we need to keep things flowing in a good time?
I don't think we've had, I don't think we've had. I think there needs to be a good streamlined process for sure, and I think it's kind of conference to conference on how that's managed. I think it's been fine so far the first two games for us, but I want to get it right. I definitely want to get it right.
Yeah. Do you talk? Have you met with Al, who's the head of officials?
Riveron.
Do you provide any? Yeah. Do you provide any input on that process to him? Does he ask for input?
Oh, Al's great. He goes around. He came here just like I'm sure he went to all the schools and met with us for probably an hour or so, and we had an opportunity to talk about a lot of things, and he had things he wanted to talk about and make sure we all were on the same page. He wanted to explain, their process week in, week out as far as how they create accountability, and what the expectations are and how, the mechanics of what they do, but also, whether it be plays that we send in that need to be reviewed, and that process on how we get the feedback so we have good communication all the way to instant replay like you're talking about and what his expectations for that is. Yeah, he's been great. I really like Al, and I think he's got good control of what he's trying to do, and they got a new, command center that they're working out of up there in Charlotte. And after two games, I don't have any complaints or anything like that.
Yeah, thanks, Dabo. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Anybody else in the room for Coach?
It's only a 2-game sample, but first down timing rule change. Any thoughts on that? Has it seemed drastic?
Yeah, you feel it in the fourth quarter. You feel it a little bit. That's good or bad, but you definitely feel like good this past week. I'm trying to get all my quarterbacks in, and that clock. Helms went on like a 22-play drive. It seemed like. It was a long drive, and that clock just kind of flew by, and then Duke game, you're trying to slow it down, and it's so you feel it one way or the other in the fourth quarter. But also on the flip side, we're averaging 80-something plays a game, so we're averaging more plays per game right now than we have in quite a while. And that's we had 37 first downs this week, and we had how many first downs we had the first game? 29 or something like that. We had 29 first downs in the first game. It's we've been getting our opportunities. There's no doubt about that. So it hasn't really affected our plays, to this point, but you feel it, and it's unfortunate that we missed a lot of opportunity in the first game, and now all of a sudden you get in a game where you just, you got to get a couple possessions, and boy, that clock, you feel it moving fast in the fourth quarter for sure.
With Gunn, you mentioned the low kicks. Is that something that was pretty easily correctable? I know you said you liked his performance.
Well, I mean, I don't know that I wouldn't say it's easily correctable. I think it's just a technical thing, and not really has not been an issue. It wasn't an issue all camp. I mean, this kid's kicking it way high and over the pipes, but for whatever reason, he just, and again, sometimes you're gonna go through some growing pains along the way, whether it's stage fright or whatever. Everybody thinks they can do it, but it's a hard job, and but he's a very talented guy, and it was good to see him bounce back. But he's just got to continue to work his technique and get the ball up, and he knows how to do that. I mean, he's a kid that's been training to be a kicker his entire life, and he understands the mechanics of it. But, I understand the mechanics of my golf swing too, but I don't always get it right. I can tell you all about it, but I'll still hook that sucker over there in the water too in a heartbeat, unfortunately. So, it's just one of those things that you gotta just get your confidence and get some rhythm, and hopefully we can get him going.
I have a question about Garrett. I was watching him kind of on the field before Duke and before this past week, and you see a lot of coaches who they have their private time, have headphones on, they're grinding. He walks around like he doesn't have a care in the world. Even during the game, doesn't seem to ever get rattled. You see coaches who come out, offensive coordinators, with the big, what our fans will call the Waffle House play sheets. He's got little cards and a pen. What have you learned about this guy through 2 games now?
Well, he's really got a call sheet, but he just folds it up. It's not cards and a pen. It's a call sheet, but he just likes to fold it up and look at whatever part that he's looking at. But it's a front and back, call sheet. But he's just. I just think that's just who he is. I mean, he's just. It's how he's been raised. I mean, he's a very even keel guy. He has fun. He keeps it loose. Had birthday yesterday, by the way. So happy birthday to G Money. We call him G Money. But he's just a great guy. I mean, he doesn't walk around like he's got all the answers or anything like that. I mean, he wants collaboration. He asks a lot of questions. He loves input. I love sitting in the quarterback meetings with him. It's like we're sitting around at Melrose Place or something. I mean, it's just this chill environment. He's not a high-strung guy. So I think that's just a kind of who he is. I mean, he's played quarterback, and he loves what he does. I mean, he loves it. I mean, he loves ball, and he understands the good and the bad that comes with it. He likes to teach, but everybody, it's just who he is. Just like Wes. Wes the same way. I mean, you just got who you are. Some guys are. Chad was, chewed 8 packs of gum and drank 10 Red Bulls by halftime, right? And that's who he is. And Tony was just very, very cerebral. He wanted to be away from everything, and he can, 'cause he's an engineer, right? And everything had to be perfect all the time. He had to have an answer for everything. That's how Tony was wired. Like he's not going to bed unless he's got an answer for everything. That's how he is, and that's what I loved about Tony. And this kid Tony, this grown man here. I mean, what he did for his time here was amazing. And G Money, he's a little more, he's a little more of a free spirit. It didn't work. All right, next play. Well, we'll try that again. That wasn't good. And I love that about him. He's got a good understanding of it, and he also, we think a lot alike in that, it's matchups. I mean, it's matchups. Let's get the best players the ball. you know, and he's done a nice job of that to this point. And then also in game, you know, he's got a good feel for, you know, what's happening on the field. He's got a good feel for that.
In that way, with him being killed, is he kind of the perfect foil for Cade, who can get
Yeah.
a little excited?
Yeah. Oh, he's been great. Yeah. Yeah. Cade's a run through a brick wall guy for sure, and you know, he's been a good fit for him.